don't know where it's going to be, but we have to assume it's going to be at least 30%. And so we've got 30% built in based on all the costs and everything. And it's not like in that time along the way, things are getting any cheaper at the same time. Like, uh, if anything, things are getting more expensive overseas along with it because with reduced volume, it's not like, well, they better get better prices to get more work. It's like they have to charge more to get to where they were because they've got less work. So as a whole, just things are getting more and more expensive. Do I want everything to be at 65? Not necessarily. Doesn't mean like that's unfortunately going to be the new normal though, is probably, but we don't know. We don't know until it's finalized and on paper in law, however it may be. We're looking at everything we can to keep prices down as much as possible, but especially when you're talking about vehicles with all the extra articulation and everything, uh, it's expensive. There's no way around it. Uh, yeah, I don't have a better answer other than like, yeah, it's expensive out there.
Mm. Well, that makes sense. I mean, you have no control of it. You need to adjust as it goes, and until it's done, then you'll know. But it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah,
We have to
yeah,
go
and
with.
we have to assume this is what it is as of today because that's what it is. Uh, but it could be more a week from now. We have no idea. It
Yes.
could be less, and if it's less, we'll drop things back down. But
We'll see. We'll see. We'll get there. So you were brave enough uh, uh, to share a statement about how this has affected Super 7. And you
terrible.
mentioned you mentioned that you would be making some changes going forward. So the first thing that I heard was Thundercats is dead. That's the first thing I heard. But I mean,
Why would Thundercats
clearly,
be dead?
exactly, clearly it's not dead. But
No.
surely this situation means that your original plans have been changed.
Things are going a bit slower. We had to, we had to get smaller to make sure that we could survive on what was going there. I mean, we lost so many orders from things not being able to hit shelf or hit price anymore. Uh, Things for later in this year because margins weren't there for the retailer anymore. Uh, and then you had millions of dollars in unexpected tariffs. Like, I don't know about you, but you know, I don't have millions of dollars just laying around in my bank account doing nothing. So when all of a sudden stuff like that happens, like what can you do? So, and then on top of that, there's the triple whammy of like things are so crazy, stop shipping stuff. Well, the moment you stop shipping, that's a 45-day lag to the port, another 15 days to the warehouse, so 60-day lag. That means 60 days from now, no revenue's coming in.
Yes.
So it's you get hit multiple places and it's really really rough. And then people will be like, "Oh, but some of these other toy companies didn't have layoffs, but they did. They just did them in different ways, or they weren't public about it." Funko, I think, had 3 rounds of layoffs. McFarlane laid people off very early and didn't really make a talk about it much. Uh, I know with some of the bigger toy companies that they were like, we're not going to have formal layoffs, but we're not going to do anything we can to retain people, and hope and just let attrition take people out rather than hiring people to fill in positions. There's a lot of like, PR wrangling around what people do, but I mean, the worst one, and I think if anybody's watched other interviews they've heard is like we had when Turtles, the first wave of 2003 Turtles hit, uh 145% is what happened. And with
Mm.
when he moved from 10 and then 10 to 30, anything that was on the water already and already been shipped was exempt. That point, things that were already on the water and coming into the port were not exempt. It was just like, no, I don't care that you shipped it when it was 30, now it's 145. I mean, we had a $498,000 tariff bill on one delivery. And they don't bill you at our size. They just take the money out of your bank account. So,
Okay.
oh, yeah, I
That's
just
rough.
took $498,000. Like, how do you plan for that? How do you budget for that? How do you work around that? You can't. So I hate to belabor the point. I think everybody would be like, that's old news. That's from February and March and April. It is, but it's not resolved. It hasn't finished yet. And that's the hard part. Yeah, we're in July, but this tariff thing is still going on and still not resolved. Um, and it's going to take a while. And it's the tariff happens when it hits the port in the United States. So China doesn't pay for any of it. We pay for
Yes.
it. And
Yes.
then if we have to pay for it, then you have to pay for it. Like there's not like extra margin running around. It's like, I don't know, it's really, really frustrating because I feel like we had a good thing going, you know, but we'll see what happens.
So, so what I want to know is how can fans help keep Thundercats alive? What can we do?
Well, I mean, obviously the biggest part of keeping something alive is supporting it and buying the product when it comes out. Supporting the pre-orders really helps because then we don't have to guess how many people want it, you know. Um, yeah, it's just continuing to support the lines, and everybody's like, oh, it's getting more expensive, it's getting more expensive. But everything in your life is getting more expensive. Inflation is continuing to move. Like even if it moves at, say, inflation moves at an average, isn't it the national average like 3% a year? I think that's what it is. So if we had a $55 toy and it went up 3%, then it would go up 55 cents. No, what am I saying? $1.65. So it'd be $1.65 one year, it'd be $1.70 the next year, $1.75, $1.80 after that. Like just 5 years of natural inflation would move it from 55 to 65 just by itself.
Mm.
So inevitably those creeps are coming anyways, much less when you compound it with tariffs, when you compound it with everything else. So I feel like we're spending too much time on the negative here. I want to talk about the fun stuff, Eggman.
Yes.
Come on.
Okay. Yes. Well,
So
thank you
what can
for
you
that
do?
insight.
Please support the line. Pre-orders make a big difference. Buying it from our site makes a big difference. But, you know, support the line and we'll continue to make the line as long as we can.
Yes, that's good. That's good. So, the this has probably affected the future of Silverhawks as well. Um,
Everything's just slowed down a little bit. Yes.
okay. And we spoke previously when you said that there's going to be another vac metal figure for Silverhawks, and another wave. What is the latest on when we can expect the next wave of Silverhawks?
I can look in a minute at the calendar. I